Hello. Whoops. Stream title. Change this to building a bunch of kyrias from splitkb.com. There we go. Good. I guess it is still morning. Good morning, folks. It is time for another build stream. This time I'm building 4 kyrias for splitkb.com. So I've got a bunch of boxes like this that came in a much bigger box. There should be many Stroopwafels. I'm going to try to resist, eating the Stroopwafels of the people whose keyboards these are, because they're not my keyboards. And they say try to resist. We'll see if I succeed in resisting. I don't know what all is actually in these boxes, if they're packed to be built individually, if they're packed to be built. Okay, so as I suspected, there's an address on it, but this is the customer bag. And okay, these are actually all set up to be built individually, so I think I'm going to try to keep them kitted as such, just so that I don't confuse things and stuff like that. So, yes. Cool. It's still going to be like 3 hours of me soldering diodes, because I'll do all the diodes first, but I'll like take the board out, take the diodes out, do the diodes, put the diodes back, or put the boards back, move on to the next one, that sort of thing. But each of these is a custom build with various options. Like this one has an encoder knob, looks like. Comes with cable. Looks like a Elite C. Got a pretty, looks like matte black, high profile case here. And here's the other half of it and the hardware for it. Cool. All right. This should be pretty straightforward to do all these things. Okay, so those are all the diodes, and I'll do the, I might as well do the components there, the other components first, or as well. No, I'm gonna build more than one, in the sense that I'm doing all the diodes first, but the full build is, I mean, there's 4 of them. It's gonna take a while. So unless I just stream all day, which I might end up doing, we'll see. Unless I stream all day, I probably won't. But we'll see. Have a bunch of through-hole diodes. I was actually kind of hoping for surface mount diodes, but that's fine. I have my handy-dandy diode leg bender. And yeah, let's see. Okay. So I've got diodes, resistors, because for the OLEDs for the Kyria, you need pull-up resistors on the I squared C or something like that. I haven't had to do that before, because my Kyrias, or my OLEDs at least, were sourced from littlekeyboards.com. But some versions, or the ones that come from Thomas from Split KB, are not. They don't have the onboard resistors, so you have to do it yourself. Yeah, okay. Diodes. Lots and lots of diodes. Okay. So I am going to put a very small piece of tape on each of these as usual so that I know which side is up. All right. Got the soldering iron already fired up. I've got solder here. Get the extractor in place. Let's see how that looks on screen. So I talked to a friend of mine yesterday who I didn't know but has been streaming for a long time now. And he gave me some advice. And I'm going to try to adapt some of that advice. One of the big things is I'm actually going to finally install the camera control software for this camera so that I can get rid of the autofocus crap, because I know that's really annoying. So I can do fixed focus, but I can change exposure settings, I can change all kinds of stuff, whatever. Also, another thing I'm going to do, he gave me like a Maslow's hierarchy of streaming link. And the first thing you want to make sure you have good is audio. So hopefully I've got that moderately covered. I've got a snowball mic. It's not great, but it's a lot better than what I had. And I'm going to continue to play around with it to increase quality and that sort of thing. But the second thing on that list is lighting. So I was looking at camera stuff, but it's like, no. Before you even think about cameras, lighting. And that makes a lot of sense. And my lighting is bad in here anyways. I have a hard time seeing what I'm doing because I'm trying to optimize for camera. But it's also just really bright and I'm looking at shiny things and stuff. But it's just like, you know, maybe take a look at lighting. So later this week, or maybe even today if I end the stream a little early, I'm going to run over to a camera shop in town and try to absorb some knowledge about lighting. And then I'm going to try to get some lighting stuff. And I also want to get a different mount for my camera, and probably for the microphone, but definitely for the camera, because this is on this weird arm that just sucks. I'd really love to be able to move it around more, but right now if I touch it at all, it's really... I mess it up and then try to get it back into the right position and stuff like that is really, really a pain. So I'm just gonna, I pretty much just leave it alone, but I'd like to be able to move it a little bit to like get closer or pull out shots or just change the angle or something like that from time to time. Be able to experiment with things. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Okay, so... Okay. For a second, I was like, wait a minute, maybe this is a 3x5 board. How do I even know that? But I know that because the case. So I'm going to build for whatever case I get. And let the case be the determining factor of what the build should be. Also, one thing to note is this is my first keyboard work where I'm actually getting paid. Most of the other keyboard stuff I've done has been building stuff for myself, or I built a keyboard for a friend, but it's technically my keyboard. I just have kind of loaned it to her, but if she wants to keep it, I'll just sell it to her for the parts. But this is not my keyboard. None of these keyboards are. And someone's paying me to build them. So that's fun. And I hope, but I don't see it, but I hope that Thomas included the €1 coin that I was asking for in the box to be, so I could frame it and be like, this is my first dollar I made doing keyboard stuff. Even though it's €1, it's close enough. One other thing I want to do as part of my improving streaming experimentation is improve the music situation. I want to be able to listen to music and have y'all listen to that same music without it coming through the microphone. And I don't know if you can hear my music at all right now. I hope you can't, because it would be coming through the microphone and just doesn't, I'm sure it doesn't sound great. But I really want to be able to like have this be like a music listening party too. People can request things. I don't know. Like Kaz the other day was like, "Oh, play this band," and I was like, "I don't know that band," but I put it on, and it'd be just kind of fun to have. So, or maybe not. Maybe I'll just put up what I'm listening to, and then I wear headphones. But I really would like to not wear headphones if I can. But my friend who does all the streaming, he said, "Yeah, I gave in, and I just use headphones." So we shall see. All right, so there's 10 diodes. I'll go ahead and solder these up real quick. Okay, turn on the extractor. Okay, that's person's, okay. Some of these are going to have socketed switches. Some of these are not going to have socketed switches. They're all going to have socketed controllers. It's going to be fun. I was really hoping for surface mount diodes, but, you know, apparently that's a customer choice, not a builder choice. Works for me. Oh, and I already screwed up. I already screwed up. Yeah, let me install the software real quick. Logitech Capture. Download for Mac. So basically what I screwed up is the diodes go on the bottom, and I put them in on the top. No big deal. No, thank you. Hello, Maker Jake. Launch Logitech Capture. Okay. So, oh, well. Well, it doesn't work. Literally doesn't work. The application logic capture can't be opened. 4. I have a feeling this is because I'm running this on an M1 Mac and it just doesn't work with the M1 Mac apparently. That's fun. Okay. Let's see what I can do. Logitech StreamCam. I should be able to set it in OBS. Okay. Do you know how? Because I double click on Ceiling Stream Cam and I choose the device Logitech Stream Cam. Wait. Aha. Nope, that's just a preset thing. Properties, configured video, properties on the device or on the thing. Oh wait, no, that's still properties. References, video, advanced, no. Are you using a plugin to get that? I'm just using the video capture device. Okay. Yeah, I think it might be a Mac thing. OBS for Mac doesn't have it or something. Let me share my screen. Oh, you're working. I thought you meant it's working. So. Oh, you're using Streamlabs. Okay. Yeah. I will definitely play around with that at some point, like figuring out the autofocusing because it is annoying. I fully recognize the autofocus thing is annoying, and I want to fix that at some point. So, sorry, it's going to be that way for today. Hopefully, it's not too irritating. Yeah, I know. I'm trying. You know what else has a poor user experience? Brain cancer. There's also probably a joke in here about, well, this is why I shouldn't be trying to stream on a Mac, but you will drag my Mac out of my cold, dead hands. Thank you very much. I feel like brain cancer should be made illegal. Because if we make it illegal, then it can't happen, right? Yeah, the crazy thing about Sam is that his condition degraded rapidly and then stopped degrading. Like he's, definitely not 100% on the mental capacity thing right now, but when he's awake, he's usually pretty with it. Oh, that autofocus drives me nuts. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I swear I'm missing diodes somewhere. Okay, so if we make brain cancer illegal and therefore only criminals have brain cancer, then what we do is we establish a rehabilitation system that cures people of their ailments. And then we take all the money we spend on defense and pour it into brain cancer research. We'll have cancer solved in a hot minute. Yeah, I don't know how it helps anyone either. And I honestly would not want to give anyone brain cancer, not even the most hardened criminal. Nobody should have to suffer through that. Okay. Uh, Adam, this build is not for me. I'm building it uh, for a customer of splitkb.com. So I am going to put in whatever is in the box because that's my build guide at this point. In this particular case, I don't know. So it's getting LEDs and 2U thumbs and OLEDs and rotary encoders. And I don't see hot swap sockets, but I also don't see switches. Or caps. I don't know if those are supposed to be in the box or not. But I know the one common thing, or the one thing that is common to all of these builds, is they all get diodes. Every one of them. So I'm doing all the diodes first, because that'll give me a better understanding of what I'm working with. And also, it's just, I don't have to think about the diodes, I just put them in. Like, I don't have to go like, does this build need hot swap sockets? Does this build need this? Does this build need that? They all need diodes. So they all are getting diodes. Now, see, I want to go ahead and disagree with you on that one. I think 2U thumbs is not correct for Kyria. Because if you have 2U thumbs in a Kyria, you have 2 keys then you can't use. You're throwing away two. If you use 2U thumbs in a Kyria, you're effectively throwing away a built-in 4-key macro pad. So I feel like I'm missing 2 diodes on here because I only soldered 23 diodes. But there should be 25 on each half. So let me go through these. Got 3, 6, 10 diodes, 15 diodes, 18 diodes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 25. But I thought I only soldered 23 because this spends 10. I did 2 batches of 10 and 1 of 3. Maybe I accidentally did an extra one. I don't know. I can't count. Maybe it does 11 at a time. Watch, it does 11 at a time and I've just never realized it. It does 11. I've had this thing for months and I've used it a lot. I thought it did 10. It does 11. That's good. Well, the one thing about doing... Yeah, well, no, I only solder on the other side, but my flush cutters will get it really flush, and if I have to add a little solder to make it, it's fine. The but that is a good point. But given that this has 2U stabilizers, see Ryan, 2U stabilizers. Haha! If only there was a sheet that says how the build should go inside the box. Okay. And I hope I didn't just flash everyone this person's address. Okay. Um... Okay. So we may have a problem. Okay. I will deal with that potential problem later. For now, every build gets diodes. Just tell myself that. Okay, so I want to make sure that I put the diodes in through the correct side. Okay, measure twice, cut once. This is the tops. Okay. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I have messed it up. Or not messed it up, but just like I messed it up once. And it's at very least like a string on your finger. It's a reminder to think about it. I mean, fortunately, if I do the wrong side, I've got 4 more PCBs. Or 6 more PCBs. So as long as I don't screw them all up, you know, it doesn't matter if a specific pair is the correct way, because I just swap them around. It's not like any of these have names directly on them. And if all else fails, I'll just take my Kyria apart Don't tell Thomas I said that. But I am going to try to build these contained. Like, I'm going to assembly line it a little bit. So I'm going to do all the diodes first, but I'm taking the parts out of the box, soldering them, and putting them back into the box, moving on to the next box, rather than laying it all out and then trying to sort it out later. But I suspect they're not quite packed so perfectly. So I may have to end up just laying it all out anyways, but this works for now. It's fine. Exactly. At least until I get to the part where things aren't exactly the same. But every build gets diodes. Every one of these boards gets diodes. So start with the diodes and you can't go wrong. The diodes also establish pretty clearly which is up and which is down. I mean, so does this little label, but yeah, no worries, Adam. I will be around for a good while, so if you're still looking for something to watch when you get done, feel free to come back. Nice. Well, have fun at work. Hello, Lorenzo. And Lorenzo, I believe I sent you some stickers yesterday. I sent someone named Lorenzo some stickers yesterday. Yeah, I finally got around to going over to the post office and doing all that stuff, so stickers and everything are on their way. It's a big load off of my mind. It's one of those things that's been like, yeah, I know, I gotta get to it. And now it's done. It feels great. Well, it's a little chilly out, but the sun just came out. And I've got some excellent coffee in front of me. And I had some really good bagels for breakfast. And now I'm building keyboards, so day is going pretty damn great so far. Speaking of sun being out, I'm gonna open the door. Because it's getting a little warm in here. Whoops. Mmm, smells like fresh rain outside. I love that smell. And we haven't had any solid amount of rain for a while. It's been like the driest couple of months on record in Portland, or like driest season of this season. So usually we get rain all the way through May, June, July. Like 4th of July is kind of the beginning of our summer here, because that's when it finally stops raining. And then it doesn't rain for like 3 months, and it's just gorgeous. But it's been just gorgeous lately and not been raining. It's unusual. It's going to be a potentially difficult fire season this year. Hopefully not as bad as last year though. Last year, I have not experienced wildfires like we had last year. It was so the smoke was so thick in town that inside with an air filter and my air conditioner going, I was still had to wear an N95 mask or I was just breathing in smoke. It was really bad. Really, really, really bad. And it went on for like 2 weeks like that. Like not a couple of days, like 2 solid weeks of just smoke. It was so awful. Okay, so that's 2 boards worth of diodes done. Let me just double check. Okay, and they all look like they're the correct orientation. Cool. All right, so that's 2 boards with the diodes done for that board. Grab the next one. Ooh, this one's a chalk. All right, and I'm gonna check. With this particular one is using Chalk Pro Reds. And MBK black keycaps. And I'm going to check these other boxes real quick. Because I have a suspicion and I want to confirm or deny it first. Okay, so those. Sorry, I'm just making sure I have all the parts for everything. I have tried the Pro Reds. They're too light for me. I only tried them for a couple of days. I don't remember, like, I've used regular Reds. In fact, I went so far as to tape mod and lube a whole bunch of Pro Red or a whole bunch of regular Reds. But I haven't used them in a very long time. Did I just do it again? I got to be more careful with my flashing people's addresses on stream. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, I really like the whites and the what are the other ones? The robins. So that's what I've been using on my chalk builds. Okay. All right, I just checked something. I need to send a quick message and then I'll be back at this. Okay. Sorry about that. Since these are not for me and they're not using my parts, uh I think I might be missing some parts on one of the boxes. So I wanted to reach out to Thomas just to make sure, see what he wanted me to do uh, while he was up and about, because he's on Netherlands time, which means it's just about his bedtime for him. Of course, he'd probably be up for 4 or 5 more hours, but I don't want to encourage that. Yeah, I haven't gotten so far as to, or gone so far as to make some proper Franken switch stuff. But maybe someday. Meanwhile, I use mostly off-the-shelf stuff. I did try modding those reds, and I honestly don't think it was worth doing. Even though during the stream I said it was, afterward I'm just like, meh, it's kind of a pain. But I do need to mod, so I do have some switches that I have to mod or they're not usable. Like literally I can't use them. I have a bunch of chalk mini browns that I bought and I put into a corn that I got custom printed. And they bind really badly. And I don't know if it's a manufacturing problem or, hey, Thomas, a manufacturing problem or what exactly the problem is. But I'm going to try taking them apart and lubing them like crazy and seeing if there's some way I can fix the binding issue because they're unusable as is. And it makes me very sad because I really wanted to give them a proper go, and I just can't use that board. It's just not typable. So. So this is a chalkboard. Oh, I did it again. This is up. See? Up. And I'm putting the diodes in on the top. I've only done a few and I haven't soldered them, so I'm going to flip it over just because I'm like that. But anyways, this board is a chalkboard. And so I need to make sure that I solder these well and then trim them close. Because otherwise the plate doesn't quite fit on the board. And I've never actually done a chalk build with acrylic plates, so this will be interesting. I have one chalk build, no, two chalk builds that have plates. Three, I don't know. I have some number of chalk builds that have plates. None of them are acrylic, and most of the time I don't bother with a plate on a chalk build because they hold themselves pretty nicely with sockets, or they're soldered, and even less reason to. And I think all of my chalk builds have surface mount surface mount diodes, or they have the like external row of diodes. Instead of it being, down in the mess of things, it's outside. See, now that Thomas is here, I'm under a lot of pressure because these are his boards. So on these, what I will probably do on these two boards that I'm soldering right now, I'll probably, after I'm done with each side, I'll flip them over and just put a little bit of solder on the component side, just to make sure, because then I'm going to trim these down really close. But before I trim them, I'm actually just going to fold them over because I want to do the other side first. So I'm going to put all the diodes in and then clip them off. One of the things I don't like about long-legged diodes is fighting with the forest of diode legs to get my solder and my soldering iron in. Hello, Leah. See you later, Godders. Thanks for stopping by. Okay. Yeah, I thought I was too, but I guess not. I'm just working with what came in the box. I have a bunch of surface mount diodes, but I accidentally ordered some that are like way too small. I mean, they work fine, but they are just not super pleasant to work with because they're so small. So I figured I'd go back to tried and true for this. I think one of them is supposed to, but there's a little bit of question about that right now. After the stream today, I'm going to go through and inventory all the boxes and the orders and make sure I have everything I need, which I probably should have done first, but you know, I'm excited. I wanted to get soldering. This is how I roll. I just do stuff and figure out what I'm missing later. Uh, so after the stream, I'm going to go through and inventory everything and make sure I know what the orders are, all that good stuff. Okay, so that's that side done. I'm going to go through and just touch on this side any that look like they could use a little more solder to hold on from this side. Okay. So now, since I'm getting extra close with these, I really want to make sure I have my safety glasses on, because I'm clipping through a whole lot of solder as well as the diode leg itself. Pretty smooth. Okay. Soldering and working on keyboards is such a like relaxing, cathartic thing for me because I feel like in my brain I always have two threads going. And this requires enough focus, but isn't really that hard. But enough focus that it occupies both of those threads. It's almost like meditating. It's wonderful. Occasionally it's frustrating, like when I'm working on RGBs. But for the most part, it's just a nice and relaxing thing. Do some fine motor skills work. Shut off your brain for a little bit. Not too much. Like, it does require concentration and focus. And attention to detail. But it's not like... It's skilled labor versus, like, what you might call thought work, like programming. Well, but see, you notice that while I'm soldering, most of the time I'm not talking very much. In fact, I often feel like I am surprised that anybody's watching because all you're hearing is, the only thing you have is like a poorly focused shot of me soldering and, you know, occasionally a cough or something as I make a little bit of noise because I'm not talking very much. I'm just like, who would watch this garbage? But then I look over and I'm like, well, there's like 8 people, 9 people watching, so someone likes it apparently. And I thank you for that. And a couple of diodes just fell off my hand because they stuck to my hand when I put my hand here, and now they're on the floor. Oh well. Only I had a magnet. Yeah, my goal is to try to like channel the relaxation that I have into the stream. Almost like ASMR soldering or something like that. I just started whispering into the mic. If I didn't have a really loud fan right next to the work area here, I would put a mic on the like pointed down at the work surface to see if I couldn't pick up like this the sizzling and popping and stuff of the soldering. But this is that's all you would hear if I tried to do that. It's so loud. I mean, it's not loud, but it's like it's white noise. So it just overwhelms everything. And what am I doing? I'm staring at a bunch of upside down diode legs and I'm putting in the diodes upside down. I need more coffee. Mm-hmm. That's the good stuff. What poop? Oh, well, I think that one is a production cap. I can look it up. I think I bought it from Etsy or something. All right, that's 2 down. Ow. I'm going to revisit this first one for a second, because this is the one that had a couple of questions. Okay. Yep. It is all important time. Mm-hmm. Yep. Specifically Stroopwafel time. Because this is what we really order from splitkb.com is Stroopwafels. It just comes with keyboard parts. Ah. And of course, stay hydrated. Okay. Now, Split KB is in the Netherlands. I'm not sure where Stroopwafels come from, but there is a place in town that makes fresh Stroopwafels with their coffee, and you eat them in the traditional fashion of you put the Stroopwafel on top of the coffee, the cup, it heats up the Stroopwafel, and then you eat the Stroopwafel. Good. I think I may have to go do that tomorrow. Yeah, Kaz, I was looking through my mail list yesterday, and I'm still waiting for an envelope from you so I can send you things. But I did at least get all of my mail out yesterday, which I'm very happy about. Oh, I don't even. Oh, that's right. You did try to send to me. I don't have your address though, so I can't. And I don't remember what I'm supposed to send you, other than I'm sure stickers. I'm pretty sure I 0 times have it. I know that you're named, or you live in a state that is named after a Metallica song. Desoldering switches. That is something I have yet to have to do, fortunately. It's not something I look forward to ever having to do. Well, that photo was what was the photo? The photo was just like, here's a screenshot of Google Maps in my neighborhood. Doesn't tell me where you lived. I don't think you've ever emailed it to me, and I don't think you've ever sent it to me on Discord. But I could be wrong on all three fronts. Either way, I do not have it. Oh, handbar. Okay. Yeah, I have a whole bunch of extra corn switch plates. So I'm thinking about doing a hand-wired corn just for fun, because I've never done a hand-wired build, and that's one of the few corns I don't have, is a hand-wired corn. And I figure if I have the plates, it should be pretty straightforward. Oh, okay, that's fair. Right as I looked up uh, to see if anybody had said anything, I just thought about that, and then you said it. No, I think the extras I have are all black and white because they're from the Corn LP from Board Source. Because I think they send you both anytime you order one. And I recently ordered one, but without the case, because I wanted the PCBs for the I wanted the PCBs for the chalk hot swap, but I wanted to use just a regular plate case, not a Corn LP case, because I already have a Corn LP case. But I wanted this one to be basically the chalk version of my MX Corn, which has OLEDs and it has uh, uh, RGB and all that good stuff. Whereas my corn that's in the Corn LP case is a wireless, so it doesn't have any of that fun stuff. But I believe I got the plate in red, maybe? It's a red chalk corn? I don't remember. It's in a box behind me somewhere. I've got to sort through all my keyboard stuff at some point. Fine, 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 fine. See, this way I can't lose it. But you know I'm going to ask you at least one more time for your address. Just to troll you, if nothing else. Almost did it again. So I got mine from DIYkeyboards.com. Pretty sure if you have a 3D printer, there's patterns for these. I don't have a 3D printer, so I just went out and searched around for one, and that's the one I found. And I love it. It makes this so much easier. And it's consistent. it's nice. I love it. Best like $20 I ever spent on $2 of the plastic. Aren't all pens 3D? I mean, technically a piece of paper is 3D, isn't it? Sorry, I had to. So speaking of multiple dimensions, I am reading this book right now called World Engines Destroyer, which it's about a trip. So it's about this guy who he's like a space shuttle pilot, but a little bit different than that because in his world, space shuttle is launched by a like a launch platform thing, and there's a pilot on the launch platform, and then the shuttle separates from it, and then there's a pilot on the actual shuttle, and he's the pilot on the launch platform. Well, he dies during his last flight of that, except he doesn't because what they do is because he's such an important asset to the Air Force, they take him to this underground secret facility, blah, 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 TLDR, cryogenics, and he wakes up 400 years later because his wife, who died 15 years or so before he did on a mission to Phobos, one of the Martian moons, uh, sent a message. Oh, this is off by one. Sent a message and they received it. And so they woke him up. They unfroze him, brought him back to life, all that good stuff. And it's really a very interesting book. I won't go too much into it, but TLDR, multiple dimensions are a thing in this book. And yeah, I went camping last week. I finished the book that I was reading, and then the next day I read half of this one. It's a total page turner. I've just been going through it like crazy, and it's like the first one in a big series. So of course, I love me some sci-fi long series. If it's got more than 5 or 6 books, I'm all in. Stephen Baxter's got some good stuff. I don't know if I could name any of it, but I recognize the name and I'm like, okay, yes. I just read so many books, I don't really pay attention to who writes them. I should pay more attention. Dennis, why for what? Oh, nifty. Okay. I think Time Ships is on my Kindle or on my, I can push a button and have it on my Kindle without paying because I've already paid for it. Oh, four Kyrias, because these are not my Kyrias that I'm building. These are these are custom orders from splitkb.com that I am being like contracted out to build. So he had four of them, and he sent me four of them. So that's why four. I haven't actually read the original Time Machine book. I've seen variations on the movies, but it's good to know it's a sequel of that because I'll make sure to read that book first, even though I'm sure it's gonna, it's gonna be one of those things that like, well, it hasn't aged super well because it was written in like the 1800s or something, but it is a classic. Wow. All right, one more, and I'm going to call it a day. Because I've got some other stuff I want to take care of, personal things. Like I want to run down to that camera shop and talk to somebody about lighting. Because this lighting kind of sucks. And then I want to figure out if I can't do something about this camera. And if I can't, I might end up just picking up a new camera that I can do something with. Because even though they say the Maslow's hierarchy of video needs audio, lighting, then camera, or audio, lighting, lens, then camera, so the camera's like way up on the list. If I can't control the camera at all, that's useless. Plus, it's not like I'll take this camera and throw it away. I'll probably turn it into a face cam. So then y'all can see my pretty face while I'm soldering with my tongue sticking out of the corner of my mouth. Okay. What's the hard eyes all about? Oh, yeah. I mean, you're mostly going to be looking at the top of my head because I'll probably suspend the camera either next to the mic on the same mount or like in that same area, and it'll point at my face if I'm looking at it. But I tend to be looking down quite a bit while I'm soldering, and I don't really want to do like a shot, like a desk mounted camera that's pointing at my face from below. Although I guess I could do that. That might be kind of fun. Because I figure this thing, if it's autofocusing a lot or whatever, the face cam will be off in the corner, so it won't be quite as bad. And then hopefully at some point Logitech will fix their software so it works on the M1 Mac. But I have a feeling I'm just going to end up buying a camera today. And a bunch of lighting and it would be really nice to have on-camera controls. Rather than having to use some software package that may or may not work on the Mac. And the last thing I want to do is have to set up a Windows box just for controlling a camera. The last thing I want to do at all is set up a Windows box. I got enough of that at my last job. Do not want. I do find it a little interesting that I pretty much ended my career as a Linux engineer by running Windows for 6 months. Missed one. All right, in the home stretch. Hmm. Almost done. That is all of the diodes. Probably give or take a couple that I probably screwed up or put in backward or missed or whatever. That's all of them. And here is the pile of diode strip paper that I used. And there was a good number of diode legs in this box before, but there's a lot bigger number now. So I won't need to harvest diodes for socketing controllers for a good while, because I have tons of diode legs. Tons of diode legs. Okay. So with that, I also just got a notification that I have an appointment in like 45 minutes. So I am going to call this here for now. But like I said, it's been, 3 hours of watching me solder diodes. And I know that's not the most entertaining content in the world, but it's fun. Yeah, before I like put anything together, I'm gonna do copious amounts of testing. I figure, you know, do the rapid first pass, clean up any I missed or messed up on later when I go to actually start, soldering things together. But I plan to put the controllers on and then test each of the switch points. And then put the diode or the LEDs in, and then switches, because the switches go last, because the switches get the plate, or they go into the plate and then they go into the board. Because I think all but one of them are soldered switches, which is great because those are really easy. Soldered switches are fast. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, cool. That's it for right now, I think. Thanks for hanging out and sticking around and all that good stuff. And I'll probably stream more of this tomorrow. I'm expecting to be able to get this done 2, maybe 3 sessions. So if we count this one, so 6 to 8 hours probably for all 4 boards. There is, I think I do have some missing parts. So one of them might not get completed as part of this series of streams. But I'll stream that final build when it gets done. That'll be the one that has the Milmax sockets. I don't have enough of my own right now to be able to just do it, and I don't have the switches they want. But we'll see. I'm gonna do an inventory of everything here in a few minutes and figure out what I don't have or what all I have to work with and go from there. So anyways, thanks y'all for hanging out, and hopefully soon I will have a better camera setup, or at least none of this autofocus bouncing around, and maybe some better lighting for the stage here. Looking forward to that. So that's one of the things I'm going to do this afternoon, is go look at camera stuff. So yeah, anyways, thanks for hanging out, and see you next time. Bye.